Good afternoon from the Eckert Bridge. I'm Rachel Bjornstead with the Ada County Highway District, and I'm joined by Tom Otte, who is our Deputy Director of Maintenance, who is overseeing the interim repairs on the Eckert Bridge, which is right behind us. So, as you probably already know, we did close the Eckert Bridge about 2.5 weeks ago, once we found out that there was some decay underneath the bridge on some of the piles underneath the bridge. Since then, we have been partnering with ITD, Idaho Transportation Department, to get some repairs underway, and our hope is that we will be able to reopen it while we are reconstructing the Eckert Bridge. So, Tom, first off, we've been working here about 2.5 weeks, and you've been overseeing kind of the operation. So, can you give us a look at what crews have been doing?
So to start, we had to actually de-water or remove the water from underneath the bridge so we could get to the piles that were affected. So first we had to come in and actually use a portable dam that's essentially a rubber bladder that we can fill up with water and some K-rail to de-water that area of the bridge and just divert the river so that it flowed to the other side of the bridge. After that, it was identifying the correct piles to go after, drilling the holes, adding our C-channel to those. C-channel is a type of metal that has 3 sides that actually have extruded metal on them.
So it's kind of like a beam?
Yes, it's like a half a beam if you think about it.
Okay,
The beam with the top cut off.
Okay.
So that we could have a good amount of support from that, and we were actually drilling through both sides of the piles and then attaching those 2 beams to each other with some all thread material. And then underneath that, we're actually putting layers, bases of concrete that'll actually get to do the holding up of those new steel C-channels on each one of those piles.
Okay, so that's kind of in a nutshell what the repairs are and what they will be. So what have crews accomplished in the past 2.5, almost 3 weeks?
So far we've got the dewatering successfully done. Piers 6 and 7 are completed right now. And as you can see behind us, we're moving on, actually dewatering the south side of the bridge now so we can start working on the 2 south side piers that are in the worst condition right now.
Okay, and so for those who don't know, there's so many technical terms and a lot of engineering that goes on a bridge. So the piles, when we talk about a pile, we're talking about the vertical. I think someone said, like, think of it like a telephone pole, like a vertical log.
Yes, exactly.
And then the piers, yeah, go ahead.
And then all of those logs together have binding material, and then on top of that, there's a little concrete kind of a apron, and that's what makes a pier. All those piles together make a pier.
Okay, and then so then there's multiple piers kind of lined up that support the bridge.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and you kind of mentioned it. Can you explain a little bit the role of the river and water levels and some of the challenges that can cause?
So anytime you're working in water, obviously there's a little bit of risk associated with it. So right now, with water levels where they are, it's been a very cooperative river. Weather has really cooperated with us as well. This last week, it's been a lot warmer and a lot more favorable working conditions for the crews. But we actually have to divert that water so that we can get the land underneath the bridge as dry as possible, so we can get people and equipment down there to actually be able to excavate underneath the piers, be able to put it in concrete forms, be able to pour concrete in there and have it set correctly, really be able to do all that work. And as water levels rise, you're going to get more and more pressure on the temporary dams that we're putting in, and they can definitely it can get to a point where we can't divert that much water.
Right, and it is kind of we have a time limit, right?
Yes, exactly. As water levels rise, as more water is released, that's going to be our limiting factor.
Okay, and we obviously you kind of mentioned this, but can you give us a little bit about just how the work has been going? This obviously isn't something that we do often, something that we haven't really done in this area in a long time, if ever really. So how is the work going?
As weather improves for us, it's really great to be able to work as closely with the Idaho Transportation Department as we are. ACHD and ITD are working very well together right now. We're actually using ITD's plan to do this work. We're just assisting and doing everything we can to make this go faster. So our crews are working in tandem. As you can see behind us, you've got crews on the bank, crews in the river, moving K-rail, prepping temporary dams, really doing quite a bit of work to make sure that dewatering is going to be successful on this now south side of the bridge. And it's been wonderful to be able to see agencies working so well together.
Yes, and yes, I I know that that's a kind of a prevailing theme here with us, is Idaho Transportation Department has been so helpful and has worked so quickly. Whenever there's a project of this magnitude, you know, things take time. A reconstruction of a bridge takes a lot of time, but the Idaho Transportation Department really worked hard to get us the permits right and to get us the materials and kind of to get us going with this project.
100%. ITD took the lead right off the bat, came up with a very succinct plan, which is what we're working on now, where they were able to requisition the materials extremely quickly, very impressively quickly, in fact. And once we got materials, we set them up to actually take the yellow thread. The teams were working together at ITD's location to drill all those holes in those C channels, so they could just, when they got out here, the crews could just put them up where they go, drill through the wood, and get them going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Idaho Transportation Department has certainly been a wonderful partner and is a really big hand in getting these repairs done. The hope, of course, is that we can get the bridge reopened in time for the float season. That's always the hope, right?
And that's our goal as well. We want to get the bridge reopened as fast as we can safely.
Mm-hmm. And one important thing to note too is we are doing interim repairs on the bridge, but that's not changing the timeline of the reconstruction of the bridge, right? These are interim repairs.
Yeah, correct. These repairs are designed to be able to keep that bridge taking all the traffic it has to take in all ways until such time as the new Eckert Bridge is up and running and ready to take traffic.
Mm-hmm. Yep, NACHD is working along with ITD and several partner agencies to reconstruct the Eckert Bridge and to eventually get it to get the new bridge up and running. So it is a process that takes time, but with these interim repairs, we can hopefully allow the bridge to reopen in the meantime.
Yes,
so.
Absolutely. And when these repairs are complete, the bridge is expected to reopen with no weight restrictions whatsoever.
Yes.
Just as to regular traffic, just like it always had been.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and that's definitely our goal. In the meantime, there is a closure on the Eckert Bridge, not just to vehicles, but also to pedestrians and bicyclists. Right now, we don't want anyone on the bridge, right?
Exactly. A big part of the reason why is we're actually using the top ends of the bridge so we can get material down to the river. So there's a lot of equipment that's going to be at both ends of the bridges, lots of people working on both ends of the bridge. Mm-hmm. So it's just not a great place for anybody other than people who know exactly what they're doing and are working on the bridge to be.
Right. So that is one thing to keep in mind. It is an active construction zone, so we know that it's a little inconvenient. There are only so many ways to get across the river here in Boise, but we are hopeful that we can get these repairs going so that we can reopen it. But in the meantime, we do have detour routes listed on our website, and that's also where you can go to get the latest information. So the webpage is achdIdaho.org/Eckert Bridge. We will be posting updates as we get more information and as the repairs are underway, and that's going to be the best place where you can find updates. So be sure to follow along with us on the Eckert Bridge webpage. Is there anything else that you would like to add, Tom?
Just that I think it's really impressive what our crews were able to do and what we're able to do right now. It's very nice to see how supportive the public's been of what we've been doing. We really appreciate people understanding that it is inconvenient, but it makes it so we can get the bridge open as fast as possible.
Yes, and that's our goal. So I echo that as well. We are very appreciative of the public's patience as we work to get these repairs done. So once again, follow along with us on the repairs, achdIdaho.org/Eckert Bridge. We'll have a link in the description of this video as well, so be sure to follow along. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.